on YouTube right now. Hey, everybody out in YouTube land. If you're on YouTube, Renee, I know you like YouTube. You can start commenting anytime you want. They'll start popping in. We're going to jump over to Facebook right now and welcome everybody over on Facebook. Here we go. Hey, guys. How you doing? It's Ken Arnold and
Tommy Weber.
And we're here, Pro Prep Baseball, on Sunday night at 8 o'clock. You know why? Because my wife doesn't let me do anything else. I have to sit in my basement. And
That sounds weird.
Yeah, this is all I'm allowed to do. This is part of my prison sentence.
That's weird.
It is weird, but it's all part of how things go around here. So, all right, yep, we're live, man. We're live over on Facebook, and we are live. I got to make sure the audio is off over there. Yeah, we're going, man. We're going. So how you been, Tommy Weber? You been good?
I'm good. All good.
What's
St.
exciting?
St. John's, my students. Midterms coming up. I actually have to get an exam together, which is just code for I have to get last year's exam.
Update it maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Right. That's about right.
Hey, it's all part of the curriculum. No, what are you
Yes,
gonna do?
it is. Yes, it is.
What are you gonna do? Change your curriculum?
But I have two great classes this year.
Awesome. All right, we've got a good evening, gentlemen, already from Renee, I believe. Yes. So,
What's up, Renee?
how are you? All right, I'm gonna configure my displays here so I can see these comments bigger. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be, Tommy. Just saying.
Well, it beats the alternative, dude.
Yeah. Yep. That's true. I might get that surgery though. You know, where they
LASIK?
No, they do the cataract surgery, right? But I don't have cataracts yet. But they put the new lens in, and you can see both distance and up close.
Wow.
Like
Okay.
brand new eyes. Like
Okay.
brand new eyeballs.
All right.
So that's what I was thinking. So we're going to get into talking about the playoffs. We don't have a top five this week, but that doesn't mean we can't make one up as we go. I know you want to talk about uniforms. And I do too.
Lack thereof.
Yes, uniforms. And I want to talk about who you have on your show this week, so we can talk a little bit about this, your podcast, of course, so you can promote that. We're going to have a free giveaway of a T-shirt, but people have to answer a trivia question. They got to answer a really difficult trivia question. I'm going to stump everyone in the baseball world.
Oh, God.
And we had a game today. So I'd like to talk about that a little bit, and I got some questions for you. What would you do in this situation? I want to hear what you would do. So,
Bunt.
yeah, yes. When in doubt, just lay a bunt down.
Right.
All right. So let's get into it, man. So tell me about this uniform.
What I would do is what the Colorado Rockies didn't do, and what nobody wants anybody to do, which is when the series is on the line, you're down 1-0, and you're on the road losing 1-0, and you got to run around third and nobody out, and you can't put the ball in play, and you strike out twice, ostensibly ending the series because you could have taken the crowd out of the game, you could have reset that game and probably the whole series. But instead, because nobody makes an adjustment, nobody widens up their stance, chokes up a little bit, looks to play pepper with the second baseman, which is all you need to do to change. The whole feeling and tenor of the series would have changed if they would have just gotten a 75-foot ground ball past the pitcher. Instead, two guys wailing away, trying to elevate and hit the ball far, wind up striking out. At that point, Milwaukee never looks back, and today finished off the Colorado Rockies. So until we start resurrecting the notion that do what you need to do, not what you want to do, guys are going to continue to strike out en masse and in big situations just like that.
Yeah, I saw some really poor swings from a lot of big league ball players this week in the playoffs. I mean, chasing balls that were way out of the strike zone. Like
in the other batter's box.
Yeah, not even close.
50 feet.
Yeah.
50 feet. And I would like to I'll challenge everybody on Twitter and anybody who's listening. It's not because the pitchers are that good.
Yeah, no.
You'd have to throw 300 miles an hour to justify somebody swinging at a ball 50 feet from the pitcher's mound. I'm sorry. I think the shortstop for the Rockies, that kid is really good. He swung at a ball that was a foot in front of home plate. Come on. That's not because of velocity. That's because of bad plate discipline, and you have no idea of contact. Put the ball in play. Come on.
Yeah, and you know what was the average fastball speed this year in the big leagues? It was 92.7, I believe. And you know what? That's hittable. That's hittable. And 100 miles an hour is hittable as well, but you got to swing at a pitch that's in the strike zone.
Absolutely.
You can't swing at something's over your head or bounces 50 feet. It was sad to watch. Now, I was kind of impressed by what Boston did in the first game. What did they do when they had the 3-0 lead in the 5th inning? What did they do?
Did they bunt for a hit?
One guy bunted, right, to get the guy over. There was a man on second base. He did a drag bunt towards the first baseman, got a hit, right? Yeah. And they got 2 more runs from doing that, playing that kind of a game. And guess what?
They play the game differently. They do. You're right. I like them a lot.
They won by a run.
If they didn't have such a non-existent bullpen, and if pitchers weren't, basically groomed to go 5 innings, they would be my favorite. But I just don't think that they're going to be able to put the numbers together to cover enough innings. Yeah. Even if they make it past the Yankees, to make it past the Astros.
Their middle relief
horrendous.
It's wow. They were terrible. They couldn't even throw a strike.
And they might have the softest pitcher I've ever seen in David Price.
Yeah, he's terrible.
Imagine being in a foxhole with that guy. Oh my God, you'd have to shoot him.
He crumbles. He crumbles.
Oh my God,
big time. So Danny Ford's on, and I just want to say, hey, congratulations to your son, Danny Ford, for his first start at Penn State.
Hit.
Yeah, and he posted that he had 2 RBIs, I believe, as well. Yep. I saw that. Yep. That was nice. Yep. That was nice. Congratulations. I see good things.
Yeah, he's a good player. Good body.
So
can have a lot of fun at Penn State.
Yeah.
They get a lot of cool stuff too.
But yeah, Tommy, I mean, so far in the playoffs, it's just been I don't know.
It's Houston, man. It's Houston.
Yeah.
It's looking, every game I see gets closer and closer to the conclusion that Houston's not going to get beat.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think I think Houston is just, their defense is too good. Their pitching throughout is way too good, and they put the ball in play.
Yeah, and they have a real mature focus too. The Red Sox do too, but only at the plate. They just and in the field the Red Sox are great as well, but they're not going to be able to cover the innings. They're just not. You need one more Chris Sale. I know that sounds ridiculous, but you do. You need one more horse. And I don't think Porcello is that guy. The only guy who could maybe be that guy is Evaldi, because he throws 100 miles an hour. And if he's on, he's really tough to hit.
So you know what else I was watching the other day, the first game between the Yankees and the Red Sox, and something that just irked me. And this is because I'm old school, right? After 5 1/3 innings, they take Sale out, and they're giving him a standing ovation as he's walking to the dugout.
They did the same thing with Severino in the play-in game against Oakland. 4 innings, he leaves the game with first and second and nobody out, and he gets a standing ovation. And I was listening to that game on the radio, and the announcer said, well, the Yankees got what they wanted out of Severino.
4 whole innings.
4. As in 1 more than 3. 3 more than none.
I'm like, you got to be kidding me. He pitched 5 1/3, and could you? And 7 1/3, I'm good. 6 1/3 maybe, but 5 1/3, come on. That's your job. That's your job. Your job is to get us into at least the 5th.
And especially when you have no bullpen.
Yeah, and I would like it to be the 7th, please. You're a starting pitcher. It's unbelievable.
What's Renee saying? Welcome to the New World Order.
Yep,
I guess the
New World Order.
You know what? It's not for the team that wins the World Series, though, because the team that wins the World Series isn't going to do it that way. If the Astros win, they're going to make sure they get everything they possibly can to Justin. Verlander's not coming out of a game in the 5th inning unless they have 6 runs against him.
Yeah. So, and that's how they win. That's how they're going to win.
Yep.
Yeah. They're going to get 7 innings out of every one of their starting pitchers. So that's how you win. So
can't have 7 pitchers in a game in order to win. That's just too many. Somebody's going to spit the bit.
Bobblehead Elvis says the New World Order sucks, Renee. It's terrible.
I like Bobblehead Elvis.
Oh yeah. Well, you didn't have your pink Elvis shirt this week.
Oh, I have something cool though. Right now I have, here he is, my man, Bill Evans, one of the great piano players of all time, right there, Bill Evans.
Sweet.
And I have another guest I'm going to introduce to you later on in the show. Big guest, big. It's gonna shut up Andy Diorio. Gonna let you know.
As soon as Andy gets on, if he gets on tonight, he's probably cringing. After last week, he's probably afraid to come back.
Yeah, and he's also so nervous about the upcoming awards.
Yeah, the Cy Young. He's hiding under his bed.
He's anxiety ridden.
He's hiding under his bed right now. Oh no, he's not going to win the Cy Young award.
Only a Met fan would care about whether or not their guy wins the Cy Young. I guess when you have nothing else.
Yes, Renee. Houston is old school, which I kind of like the way they play.
I don't know that it's old school. I think takes away from what it is. It's not old school. It's logical. It's doing the math. Actually, I think it's more mathematically rooted than we give it credit for. 90 feet, 60 feet, 6 inches, 27 outs. You got to get 27 outs. However you get them, doesn't really matter. Well, I think the easiest way to get them is if you have one guy who's getting those outs, is to ride him until he shows he can't get any more outs. Yeah. And then bring somebody in.
All right. So let's talk about these uniforms, Webbs. What did you mean this week? You sent me that text and you seemed really angry about
I wasn't angry.
Uniforms. It just seemed angry. It was an angry text. Capital letters, all caps, and exclamation points were coming through. I think an angry emoji and a shit emoji came through.
I don't do emojis. I don't do emojis. I'm not an emoji guy. I know you.
I'm exaggerating, but you know.
No, you asked me. I forget what I was doing, but. I must have been talking to one of my college buddies about how lame the college game is, and how the coaches don't wear uniform shirts. Mm-hmm. They wear cage jackets on the bases, and I just believe that if you don't see it in the big leagues, why would you do it in college? And I coached, as you know, third base for 22 years at the Division I level, and I never wore anything on top of my shirt. Now, what I would do is I would pile stuff on underneath my shirt and put the shirt on top. Yeah. But if I went out there, I had to be in uniform. And to me, in uniform is in your shirt. So what you have in college is a lot of these like kind of fat guys with bad facial hair and stopwatches and charts in their back pockets and that stupid cage jacket that makes them look even fatter. And to me, you're out of uniform if you wear your cage jacket.
Was the bad facial hair comment a knock at my glorious mustache?
Compared to the average guy in the college game today, you have great facial hair.
Oh, thank you very much.
Look, I don't care what kind of facial hair you have. When the purpose of it is to somehow give you a credibility you haven't earned because you look like everybody else, mm-hmm. or you look like some other guy at an SEC school, then it becomes a prop. It's not really something you want to do. You're doing it so you look perhaps like something you aren't.
I'm trying to look like Tom Selleck, and I'm definitely not Tom Selleck.
All right.
Anyway. So, and I've seen this at the high school level. They don't wear uniforms. A lot of coaches don't. At the youth level, maybe one or two guys wear uniforms.
But I understand at the youth level. Yeah. It's different. It's a whole different vibe.
Yeah, you're coming from work.
If you've got baseball pants on, you should have a baseball shirt on.
Yeah. In high school, if I was coaching at the high school level, absolutely, I would have all my coaches, I would require them to have the uniform on. College level, absolutely. It's just how you do it at that level. Because now you're getting paid, right? You're getting paid to coach, no?
Right. And I see a preponderance of guys at the college level who are base coaches walking on and off the field.
Yeah.
Guess, you know what? Too. You lose your credibility instantly. I don't care. You might be Casey Stengel. Mm-hmm. I see you walking on and off the field. It's no different than when I see a player walking on and off the field. I look at that kid and I make a judgment about him because he's walking on and off the field. Well, if you're a coach or a manager, how could you expect your guys to move with energy if you're not moving with energy? If you don't run on and off the field, how could you ask your players to run on and off the field?
Yeah. It irks me as well. Like today, we had a 2-hour time limit, a hard out 2 hours today for our game because there was another team coming in behind us. They screwed up the schedule or whatever it was, so we had to be off right at 2:00. And then I'm watching the other team when we're switching, and the whole team, every single one of the players, was walking out to their position on the field, and I'm just sitting there looking at them, going, are you serious? And I'm looking at the other coach going, hey, You know what? I got my guys running in and out every time, on and off. You hear me on them. Let's go, in and out. We got, you should have checked the board already. Let's go. You should be out there already. Right? I mean, unbelievable. Unbelievable. And the other coach wasn't saying anything. Just sitting there like it was nothing. Like it was okay for them to walk in and out.
Look, I'm not some old school guy who wants to see guys run. There's a practical reason why you run on and off the field. Because energy begets more energy. If you're up-tempo, you're going to be up-tempo the whole time. You're going to be more alert, and you're sending a message to the other team, you're ready.
Yeah.
You're ready to go. I'm ready to take you on. Whereas if you have that lethargy and you kind of look like you're dragging yourself, well, you're not very intimidating looking to the other team. They're not going to have to be very much on their toes in order to beat you. It's just a good idea to be up-tempo, moving on and off the field, and you're going to use your time more efficiently if you run on and off the field. Let's go.
Yeah. And Renee wants to know what he doesn't remember what your Tide uniform number was, and
Kenny does.
Yeah, I know exactly what it is.
So does Danny Ford.
Yeah. Joe Montana.
That's right, baby. Joe Montana. One of my 7 geniuses that I've seen in sports. Number 16.
Yep.
Except for this year, I won number 5 to honor my mentor, Frank Del George.
Fantastic.
Yep, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Every once in a while, you got to mix those numbers up.
Yeah, why not? It's just a number. It is what it is.
Doesn't.
So, what do you think about it? I mean, I mean, at the youth level, I get it. You wear a pair of shorts, it's hot. It's a different thing. But in high school, come on, man.
Yeah. You gotta wear the uniform. Like I said, you're getting paid at this point, right? You're getting paid. You're making money as a coach. I mean, it's not a lot, but still, let's get out there and be professional.
And now your players are like young. They're about to become young adults. You want to start teaching them how to best play the game and comport yourself. Well, you should be running on and off the field, and you should be in full uniform.
Yeah. Oh, today I almost lost my mind when my kids showed up. Because what's the first thing I tell them at the beginning of the year?
Remember your stuff?
Wear your uniform. Yeah, wear your uniform. Wear your belt, your hat, your jersey tucked in, right? Your pants, blue socks. And every game, somebody shows up, not a belt, missing their hat, their shirt's untucked. I'm like,
at 13 and 14, that's too old. You shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And your shoes should be tied, by the way.
Yeah, they should.
Nobody can tie their shoes anymore. I don't know what the hell that problem is.
All right.
I got to stop every 5 minutes and go, could you guys tie your shoes, please? So, but that's my thing about the uniforms. Is these kids, they show up, and it's your uniform. It's yours. It's your responsibility. I'm trying to teach you not only baseball, but I'm trying to teach you how to be an upstanding young gentleman and be responsible for what you're supposed to do.
It's also part of what makes you a team. Uniform, one look. Everybody looks the same. It's not a golf tournament where everybody dresses differently. Yeah. You're on one team. Everyone should look uniform. That's why they call it a uniform.
I got one kid who comes to every game, and I told him day one, we're wearing gray pants. What color pants do you think he wears to every game?
White.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I know your parents. They got more money than Davy Crockett. They can afford gray pants. I don't know why you keep showing up in white pants. I'll bring a pair of gray pants for you if it's that bad, but I know you got gray pants.
So I got a good one for you. So
Go ahead.
I'm working with this kid, one of my kids who's back from pro ball, and he wants to get some stuff done during the year. So we're at this place, and this guy is talking to his player, this young player. He can't be more than 12 or 13 years old, and he's telling him, "I'd rather you pop up weekly than hit a ground ball."
What? Excuse me?
Than hit a ground ball.
What? And you didn't come flying off the top rope and suplex that guy?
I said to my guy, I don't know that I could endure this a whole lot longer without going in there and punching this guy in the face. I mean, he's really looking. The kid, of course, looks up to this guy. I understand, teacher, student, all that stuff. And he was saying it like he was proud. Like, I want you to pop the ball up. I never want you to hit a ground ball. I'm like, what? And don't you know, it was the day that the Rockies played and that game was on. And it was almost exactly at the time when they had men on third and nobody out. and they struck out twice in a row. Where I'm thinking, if I'm the manager, Bud Black, I'm begging for a ground ball. This guy's saying, I'd rather have you pop out.
What? You don't want the guy to field the ball, have to exchange
RBR,
it, throw
RBR,
it, yeah,
RBR.
drive a run. What? Oh, man, wow. And yes, Dan Ford, according to Forrest Gump, Davy Crockett did have a lot of money. I'm just
credible
quoting,
source, Ken. Credible source.
I'm quoting Forrest Gump right there. Yes.
And yes, Felix Mion was number 16, and so was Bo Jackson. Another one of my seven geniuses.
Bo Jackson was phenomenal.
Seven geniuses. One wasn't human.
Yeah.
We'll go into that some other time.
Yeah. Okay. One was a horse?
Yes, it was.
Mr. Ed?
Oh, God.
That horse could talk. I don't know. I saw it on TV. That horse would talk every week.
Who was Mr. Ed's owner?
Wilbur.
Exactly. Yeah. It was actually Secretariat, but...
Okay. Oh, yeah. You know, an amazing athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So, yeah, here's my issue this week, Weber, and you can relate even at the college level and any level actually.
Yeah.
But today was one of those games where nobody hit the ball, but a ton of runs were scored.
Oh boy.
Yeah. You want to talk? It felt like somebody was pulling my teeth out.
Oh boy.
Nobody could throw a strike on either side.
And nobody was catching it.
And nobody was catching the ball. Well, they weren't hitting it either. Nobody was putting the ball in play. They were, if they did, it was a weak ground ball or a pop-up or, And we looked great in BP. We were taking BP, man. We were just crushing stuff. Wham, in the cage, hitting line drives all over. And then we get in the game, and nothing.
So 5 o'clock lightning, baby.
Yeah. And I'm just sitting there, and it felt so long. Like so long. And in between innings, the other team's walking out to the field, so now it feels even longer. And I'm just, what can I do with my pitchers to get them? And now this is their first time throwing from 60 feet 6. This is, we just jumped up from 12-year-old to 13. So now we're at 90 feet bases and 60 feet 6. And they're just having a tough time throwing the ball over the plate. What can I do with them to maybe work on that? And
I think you would do the same thing you would do if a guy was struggling with his putting in golf. You'd move him closer to the hole, and you'd have him master a short putt. I think that part of the problem is instruction and development today is get to 60 feet 6 inches, throw it as hard as you can, and maybe you'll throw a strike. Well, how about find the distance where they can throw strikes easily, have them throw 5 in a row, because a professional pitcher can't throw 3 in a row. Okay, in a side session, professional pitchers won't throw 3 in a row. Major league pitchers will, but guys like an A-ball will struggle to throw 3 pitches in a row over the plate. So you want to find a distance where they can throw strikes at will, and master that distance, and then start to back them up, and also impress upon them, throw it over the middle of the plate.
Okay.
You don't need to hit corners and keep it on the black. That's an advanced skill. If you can't throw strikes, you can't worry about nibbling and hitting, throwing inside fastball, outside fastball, up, down. Come on, that's crazy. Most kids can't throw the ball over the plate. So I say the fat strike, the most important pitch you could throw, is a 4-seam fastball right down the middle.
Yep. And throw strikes. At this level, it's all it is throw strikes. Absolutely. You throw the ball over the plate, you are going to win games.
Yep.
And it keeps the other players in the game. I got guys in the outfield standing with their arms crossed, because nobody's throwing a strike.
At every level, what dooms pitchers is not the loss of stuff. It's the loss of command.
Mm-hmm.
You're up in the strike zone. You can't find the strike zone. You fall behind hitters. Now you're going to get lit up. So you got to really develop pitchers from the most basic up. And the most basic thing that you could do, the most important thing you could do is throw the ball over the plate, not throw the ball hard.
So here's what I see other coaches doing with their pitchers, right? I come out and I say, all right, well, we're going to get our pitchers. All of our drills with our pitchers right now are going to be 45 feet. We're not going 60. We're not going 60. We're going to become consistent at 45. And then once we become consistent there, I'll move you back to 55, 60.
Absolutely.
Right? So here's the thing. I'm watching these and then the other coaches are looking at me like, well, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you move them further away? like to 65 feet, 70. I'm like, really? Why?
Tell you. Can I tell you why? That's practicing failure. That's why.
Yeah. I'm like, really? Why would I do that?
That's like getting a 7-year-old in the cage and throwing 90 miles an hour at him and trying to have him hit. You're practicing failure. Yeah, go ahead. And I know Renee says, you move the catcher so the pitcher is only focusing on throwing to the glove. I don't even know that throwing to the glove is necessarily the focus. I think most guys that could aim for a big square, the catcher's mass. Throw it to the catcher's mass. I wouldn't want to make the target too small right away because, again, that's a refined skill. You don't need to be too fine. Throw it anywhere in that square, that box we used to paint on the wall when we played stickball. That's where you got to throw it. Anywhere in there is fine.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I'm trying to get my guys to throw to like a hula hoop almost size thing. Right. That's what I'm telling them.
Then make the square smaller, smaller, until you could, pinpoint it. But to start out by spotting the ball or hitting the catcher's glove only, I think tends to conspire against success. And my whole philosophy about work and development is practice success. Mm-hmm. Find what a kid can do perfectly and do that over and over and over again. Then turn up the tempo.
Yeah, turn up the tempo and then fine tune maybe some of the weaknesses he has and work on those and fine tune those. Because you got to have, if the kid doesn't have a positive experience, he keeps failing and failing and failing, all of a sudden he's in his head saying, I can't do this, I'm never going to do this, and then he's going to give up and just be like that,
I agree, right? Yeah. That's what happens. Kids quit.
Yeah. You can see it in their face too. When I'm out,
no doubt.
I'm flipping balls to them, and I'm like, "Look, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to build this up, and you're doing great. I love your swing right now. Now we need to start making contact. Your swing looks good. Now let's start making contact. Let's see the ball. Let's hit the ball. Right? I'm not in there telling them, you got to have your hands inside the ball, hit the inner half, do all. They're not that advanced yet.
No, absolutely not. That's hard. That's hard stuff, man.
Let's see the ball and hit the ball. How about we start there? Let's get a good, solid, consistent swing down. See it, hit it, see it, hit it, see it, hit it. Right
Even with advanced players, most instruction and development entails breaking it down a little bit and going backward before you go forward. Most guys are trying to do something, A, they don't have to do, or B, is so advanced that, it's like hitting the miraculous shot in golf. Why would you practice that? You're never going to need it. Hit the shot you're always going to need. Take the swing, the conventional swing against a pretty good fastball that's over the center of the plate. If you can do that all the time, you'll be able to adjust out, in, up, down, velocity, and movement.
So here's another question for you. With my pitchers in the fall, this is what I do with them. And I tell them flat out before they even go out there. Look, this is your inning. This is it. I'm not coming out to get you. Right? It's a 5-run limit. I want you to go out there. And now I'll go out and talk to him if I see something or something and I want to calm him down or whatever it is. But do you think that's a good philosophy? Because
absolutely,
this is your inning. I want you to get pitches in. I want you to work on things. I want you to throw the ball.
I think you're tapping into something that's really important when it comes to development, and that is you have to emancipate your player. You have to leave him out there on his own so that he can basically become resourceful and find a way to get outs. Mm-hmm. If you micromanage him, which is what instruction is today, you're micromanaging every single pitch, every move, he never really owns what he's doing, and he needs you to be there all the time because he's not going to remember what you told him yesterday. But if he does it on his own, he owns it, and he could rely on that every single time on a recurring basis. I think that's a critical element in development.
Yeah, and that I'm not going to come out there and I'm not going to pull you out.
Right, you're on your own.
Unless you're hurt. But
go get him.
Yeah, I want you to fight. I want you to, like you said, figure it out.
But you know what? That's a hard precedent to buck because their entire life has been chauffeured, accompanied, instructed. The path has been cleared for them. They've had a bodyguard and an advocate. Well, not really an advocate, but a parent who has essentially crafted for them this path that has had no obstructions. So they really are not self-reliant. And now you're the first guy who's asking them to do something on their own, and they kind of look like a deer in the headlights a little bit. There's going to be a learning curve.
That's another thing, Danny Ford. Right on. Let them compete. That's a big problem I see with kids at the youth level. They don't know how. They give up. They don't fight. They don't fight to win.
How do you fight? How do you fight? Why would you fight?
They don't have that in them. It's just weird. Like when we were younger, I always wanted to win. I wanted to be the first guy. I wanted to, I didn't want to let the guy next to me beat me in a race.
What would be your impetus for fighting if every time things didn't go your way, you had someone who went to a coach, a teacher, a mentor, or whatever, and got it to go your way? Or in baseball, if you don't like the team you're on, you start your own team.
Yeah.
So why would you ever fight? Where would you get that instinct? There is no instinct to fight. We've weaned that out of players. That's why competing is something that we have to talk about even at high levels now, because competition is something that has gotten a bad name. Everybody wins.
Yeah, and you can't. And if you want to win, you're
angry.
Yeah, you're an angry, evil person for
you're
wanting
aggressive.
to win.
You're aggressive.
You're aggressive. I totally agree with that. I think that it's become ridiculous. It's okay to win. It is. It's okay to win.
It's great to win.
Yeah.
It losing sucks.
Exactly.
It really does.
I was watching We Are Marshall yesterday, and one of the best things he says in the movie is winning is everything. It's the only thing that matters.
Right. I mean, isn't that kind of how we walked erect? We won. We won the evolutionary battle. I mean, that's why we're at the top of the food chain. That's what we do. We're hardwired to win, to be successful, to do well on tests, to get into good schools, to get good jobs, to marry good, come on.
Yeah, but it's okay to lose too, but...
Right. You don't throw yourself off a building when you lose, but that you do learn.
But yeah, you've got to fight, though. You got to compete.
You can't lose if winning isn't at stake.
Yeah.
So you never even learn from losing because nobody loses. Everybody wins.
Yeah, and Renee, that's exactly what we're doing right now. I have a team full of, and he says his team's always played up in summer and fall, challenging them every day. That's exactly what we're doing right now. We have a team full of 12 and 13-year-olds, and we're playing in a 15U league. So, I want to challenge my players too. I don't.
Bill Evans says, "I always want to play down so I could degrade and humiliate."
Yeah. Well, some people do that. Some teams do that, and it's a shame. It's sad. It's absolutely sad. So, and also today, Webbs, during the game, my guys would get to third base, and I would look at them and I would say,
home plate's that way.
Home plate's over there. But here's what I would say to them. I would say, I want you to be aggressive. I want you to get a good walking lead. Be aggressive, right? Then when they take their secondary from third, but I want them, and I would tell them, I want you to read the ball if it gets by the catcher, and you decide whether or not to go. Right. I'm not going to tell you. I want you to learn how to read the ball, and you go.
Right, you want to be the actor, not the reactor.
Yeah, and you would think that I said something crazy. They would all look at me like, what? You're not going to tell me? No, I want you to do it. I want you to read. Because before I say it and it gets to you and you make the decision to go, it might be too late. I want you to learn how to do that on your own.
I rest my case, man. I rest my case. That's what they're used to. They're used to somebody telling them. I remember I was doing a workout once. Some kid came into the cage and we were doing soft toss. And he looked at me and I looked at him. Like he was waiting for me to tell him how to hit. Like, I don't know. Hit the ball that way. Go ahead. Let's go. Here's some soft toss. Go. But they are waiting to be prompted. Even players in the Cape, it's the same thing. Takes a couple of weeks for, when I say to them, I'm giving the game back to you, you're on your own. Yeah. They're like, what? And these are guys from North Carolina and Arizona State where, if they love signs. These college programs are control freaks, and they love the signs and the control over players and regulating them and making sure they micromanage every single thing they do. They never let their players be on their own, ever.
Make a decision. No, not. I go to Navy games here. It's nice stadium.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Wayne Terwilliger Stadium over here. Terwilliger Stadium. It's really nice, and it's great to go out and watch the college kids play. But the Navy coach is yelling numbers out. He's got a card that's the size of Andy Reid's offensive playbook.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And not one thing goes by without them doing all these numbers and signs and everything. Not one ball is thrown without all that.
Well, I told you. I learned something I never knew even existed. Now the shortstop or the second baseman tells the pitcher when there's a runner on second with a series of signs, how many times to look back at the runner?
What?
Yeah. I'm like, how goofy, lame college is that? What is that about?
Oh, okay. That's fantastic.
Yeah, all right.
That's fantastic.
And the message you send, and here's the message you really send, is you stink and you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I have to do this for you. And don't think that kids don't get that message. They do.
Well, anyway, I try to get my guys to make their own decisions and not wait for the coaches to, And Dan Ford said he coached the 16U team and he had no signs. They owned the game. Kids loved it, and once they got over that initial shock. I do the same thing with my older players too, Danny Ford. I let the catcher call the game.
Of course.
He looks over in the dugout at me, and I just go, you do it. And he's like, what? Because his high school coach won't let him.
How many pitches could a guy possibly have? How big? Yeah. First of all, even if a guy has 3 pitches, right? Yeah. He probably throws one of those pitches 70% of the time, right? So what do you have? Like a 20% chance you're going to call the wrong pitch? He's only got 3. And most high school, college guys really have 2. One of which they throw 80% of the time. Mm-hmm. How wrong can you be?
Yeah. The only reason I'm out there is if it gets late in the game and we're in a certain situation, right? I'm going to tell you not to run. Or not to do something stupid. That's why I'm there. Otherwise, I want you guys to be aggressive. I want you guys running. I want you guys doing things on your own, period. So, late in the game, I might tell you to back up, no doubles, throw the ball on the second base if it's hit to the outfield. I might do that.
Of course.
But other than that, the rest of the game is yours.
Right, you're there to make sure. You're the adult in the room, whether it's at the big league level, the little league level, or anywhere in between. The manager, the head coach, whatever you want to call him, his job is to be the adult in the room and to make sure that you leave no stone unturned and to continually remind your players how many outs, what the circumstance is. That's your job. Your job is not to walk them up to home plate and give them, instruction every single pitch that's thrown and tell your pitcher where to, and tell your players where they have to be every single pitch. My God, what a drag it must be to play for these guys.
Yeah, I want my players to tell each other where to be.
Right.
I want you to tell him, move over one. This guy hit the ball, up the middle last time. Let's shade him that way a little bit. I want to see that.
When was the last time you saw? It's probably the last time I saw it. Your shortstop turn around and move an outfielder.
Never. I've never seen that at this level. Never.
3 years in the Cape, I may have seen it once. Maybe.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Doesn't happen.
Mm-mm. Also, and the one other thing that gets on my nerves, and of course it happened today in my game, is these kids have no idea of how to play baseball almost. Like they don't understand the situation. I had a force out at second base today, right? Now this kid is 13 years old. He's been playing baseball with me for 3 years now. He kind of understands the game, all right? So there's a short pop-up to left field. The left fielder comes in on it, has a chance to catch it, but he doesn't get to it. The left fielder picks up the ball. The guy from first kind of stopped halfway, like he's supposed to. But now the left fielder still has a chance to get the ball to second base to force the guy out.
Okay.
Right? Left fielder throws it to the second baseman. What do you think the second baseman does when he catches the ball?
Throws to the pitcher?
No. He's not even standing on the base. He then turns around and tries to tag
the guy.
Yeah. I'm like, that just tells me you don't understand baseball.
Well, they don't play enough. They don't play enough.
That's it. Bang, right there. So guess what we're doing? Guess what we're doing this week? We're playing 3 games. And you know what?
Got to play, man.
Yeah. So we're going out there. We're playing 3 games, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday of next week, because I'm adding games because I want my guys to play more, to get out there and play in game situations. So that doesn't happen again. You got to know that that's a force out. At the age of 13, you got to know that.
I'm shocked that I have parents of 13 and 14-year-olds who are calling me up, inquiring about winter workouts that begin in November, let's say. So this was like in September. And I would say, well, what are they doing between now and November? Well, school's going to start, and I say to them, how do you live in a place where you can only play 7 months of the year because of the weather, at most? At most, you really can't even play 7 months. But anyway, you're going to take a month and a half of those 7 months off. How do you expect your kid to get any better? What your example is a perfect example of what is wrong. That's the result of what happens when kids aren't playing enough. It's not enough to do a winter workout once a week or twice a week. You got to be on the field, a lot, 5, 6 days a week, especially when you only have 5 or 6 months within which to play because of the weather.
Yeah, and right now is a great time of year. The weather's nice. It's not,
There's no reason. There's no reason to not be participating in baseball if you're not in college. If you're not in college until December 1st.
Yeah, I mean,
it'll get a little cold in November, but it's not freezing. You're not going to get 2 feet of snow. You should be out doing baseball activities if you're serious about playing the game until December 1st.
All right, so do me a favor, and I'm going to put this up. Give me a little bit of a rundown of who's on your show this week, man. Your podcast. Boom.
Oh, man. Nino.
It's
me and Nino. We got Brandon Wolf, Stanford University outfielder, who hit the hardest ball ever this year. Oh, my God. I think it's just about landed. He hit it in August. It just landed. Brandon Wolf is a super, super guy. Really big brain kid, terrific athlete, comes from Vegas. Very, very smart kid. Going to have a big year at Stanford. And also, he is a passionate piano player. Cool. Yeah, we really gravitated towards each other this year in the Cape, spent a lot of time together, discussed music. He has played the national anthem at Stanford before the game, I think 3 or 4 times. Terrific guy. We really got close. Going to do big things, going to go in the draft and have a lot of fun playing professionally. But no matter what happens, when you talk to some of these kids, especially these Stanford kids, you realize, wow, these are big brain people and really a lot of fun to be around. So Brandon Wolf, check it out. We talk about Condoleezza Rice. Being in the gym at 5 a.m. And Stanford baseball and his experience in the Cape.
Now, where can they find that?
TommyWeberBaseball.com and on any of your favorite podcast platforms. But go to my website, TommyWeberBaseball.com. Look at that.
There it is.
Wow.
Yeah, there's the website. So get over there, folks, and check it out. It's
Tony Losi. That guy's a badass. There we are.
It's a great listen. So get over there and listen to that podcast, guys. TommyWeberBaseball.com. I'll tell you what, Tommy, I learned a lot from you in my day.
Did you really? Yeah, but what about not baseball?
Not baseball.
You can't.
Not baseball. Definitely not that.
You cannot in this. Hold on. Given the current climate, please don't talk about the details of what you learned.
I will not say a word. I plead the fifth.
Oh my God.
I plead the fifth. Hey, did you see these new T-shirts I got?
Those are sweet. Pro Prep, baby.
Look at that. I got one for you. So
great.
I actually might be up in the city tomorrow, by the way.
Cool.
So I might have an audition. And then if I do audition tomorrow, I was going to hit Matt Servito's show at the Flea.
Oh, okay. All good.
At 7:00. But I actually want to give one of these out right here tonight. Boom.
Well, I do have one thing I think we need to get behind us tonight, because I felt really bad last week about the Jacob deGrom discussion. And, I really felt bad for Jake. He may or may not win the Cy Young, and he's really feeling bad for himself. So I wanted to nominate Jake for possibly getting one of these. This is I think Jacob deGrom should at least get an Emmy. So I'm putting up my wife's Emmy.
Okay.
She's going to kill me, by the way. She's totally going to kill me. But it's worth it. I'm putting up my wife's Emmy. I believe Jacob deGrom deserves this more than my wife does. So, Andy, I hope this makes you feel a little. It's a consolation prize just in case he doesn't win the Cy Young.
Yeah. Renee jumped on it and said, "Weber feel bad?" Yeah, with a question mark after it. I don't think he feels bad at all.
No, I don't.
No, I know you don't. So anyway, I want to give away one of these T-shirts. Weber, you think these guys? You think Renee can answer this question? Because I think he's the only one who's watching.
Renee, the problem with Renee, he's really a baseball historian. So when he's on, I think I got to give him he's the favorite in this horse race.
All right, so I'm gonna go. You ready? Here's the question. You ready, Tommy?
I'm ready.
Do you Can you hum the Jeopardy tune for me before we?
There
we go. Okay, it's a 2-part question. Okay, what organization did all-star shortstop Ken Arnold play for out of college? What organization did he sign with? That's the first part of the question.
That's easy.
Yeah, you're not allowed to answer. And the second is, what city did he play for in his first season? Where was his first stop in the minor leagues? What city was it? So it's a 2-part question. Put it in your comments, and whoever gets it right first gets the T-shirt. Make it a Carl Feldman question. I wish I could.
Feldman.
I could. I wish I could, Danny Ford. I don't know enough about that guy. Oh, here's a question, Danny Ford. You might know the answer. What field did Carl Feldman walk out in the center field and stare at the fence for 20 minutes in between games of a doubleheader?
That was sad. Very sad.
It was sad. It was sad. But he stood out there for a good 20 minutes. So, no, Renee. The Staten Island Tide. Baltimore Orioles and the Staten Island Tide is incorrect. Danny Ford is right with the Cubs.
Right.
But
he doesn't have the city.
What city?
Somebody's got to be on Google, right? They're Googling it.
It's out there. It's out there. You can find it. So, but anyway, let's keep talking. And if they get it, they get it. And I'll send them a T-shirt.
And yes, that was a BP top. That Staten Island Tide was a BP top. That's the Major League Majestic BP top. If you're going to do it right.
So I have my Staten Island Tide hat. I wear it every day to practice.
Sweet.
The blue one, not the white one. I keep
stuff.
The white one. I keep it clean. I don't want to wear the white hat and get it dirty. No, Danny Ford, it wasn't Peoria. So, and yes, I was in the looming tower, Renee. That was
somebody's on Google.
Yes. Renee's Googling. He's Googling. It's not Peoria, Danny Ford. That was my second year. That was the Midwest League, my second year. So, and
that's cold.
I kind of, it was cold. I kind of try to forget that season. I got hurt. I got hurt 9 games into the year. Broke my hand. Got hit by a 95-mile-an-hour fastball up and in.
By some 17-year-old Mexican kid.
Yeah, no, he was some big white kid, and he threw hard and he hit me. I just boom. So broke my hand. Broke this bone right here. Still isn't straight. So
I'm sure.
But anyway. But that was then, and this is now.
Yeah, Renee wants half a shirt. Who? Danny Ford wants half a shirt.
You want half a shirt? No, you don't get half a shirt, Danny Ford.
Half a shirt.
Yeah, you don't get half a shirt. So anyway, the right behind me though, Danny Ford, if you can see that, is me playing in Peoria, which is that doesn't help you. And then right here is me playing at the WAG. This picture right here. See, it says Wagner right there. Yeah, that was me playing at the WAG, and I had my gold chain. I didn't wear chains when I played though. Once I wore chains at Wagner. Then once I went to play professionally, I just got rid of the chains. I got rid of those. So I had a Lenny Cancellari muscle guy chain when I was at the WAG. It was funny. It was really funny.
What does Renee want? Would be a half a shirt for me. Renee, no, it wouldn't. Don't say that.
But anyway, I'm going to give you the other half of the answer, Dan Ford. And if you send me your address, private message, I will send you an extra large T-shirt. And
Renee, we'll tweet out your address.
Yeah, and then we'll send some hookers and some blow over to your address, and then we'll call the FBI
and Homeland Security.
Yes. But Renee, send me private message me your address as well. I'll send you a T-shirt too. So there you go, Danny Ford, Huntington. You got it. All right. You got direct message me, both you guys. I will send you both a T-shirt. I got a whole box of them right here, so I got to get them out. So let's do it. Let's get some Pro Prep Baseball T-shirts out there. I paid for them. Might as well use them, right?
Swag, baby. Swag.
Exactly. Swag. So, what else you got this week? You got anything good coming up, Webbs? I thought you were going to play the piano for us for a second there.
You want me to play the piano? I can play the piano. What do you want? What do you guys want?
Tickle the keys. Billy Joel.
Well, Billy Joel for Hunter Bishop with 2 home runs last night for Arizona State. 2 home runs for Arizona State against the Texas Rangers Instructional League Club. Hunt, baby, Hunt. And Gage Workman, another kid we had this year, tremendous player. He's like 18 years old at Arizona State. Ridiculous. Hit a home run as well. Hunter Bishop.
You sent me that video. Dude, the sound off the bat.
Yeah.
Dude, that sound.
Yeah, it's different.
You don't hear too often. Yeah.
In the big leagues. Sound. In the big leagues, you do.
Yeah.
He's got all the ability in the world. All the ability in the world. And a great kid.
And he hit that ball way out in front.
Yeah.
He didn't let it get deep, man. He hit that thing full extension, and that thing probably went at least 400 feet. Maybe
we worked a lot together for 2 years. He was our MVP in the playoffs last year, and he's got all the ability in the world. He's going to do really great. Great kid.
So Renee wants to know what the funniest play you ever witnessed in person. The funniest play I ever witnessed in person. Funniest play.
Oh, I know what it is.
Do you mean like Neil Simon? Or
I saw The Odd Couple. I saw Jack Klugman and Tony Randall in what's the Neil Simon play about the old guys?
The Odd Couple.
No.
Oh, waiting for Godot.
No. Oh crap. Anyway,
Barefoot in the Park.
The funniest play I ever saw. I'll tell you what was a really funny play. We were at Wagner College one day, and there was a foul ball hit down the right field line.
Yeah, here we go.
And we had a great guy. Lenny Hunter was our first baseman who played with like reckless abandon. Lenny was really just a sweet kid who gave everything he had. And sure enough, Lenny turns. Now the ball it's foul off the bat, but Lenny didn't know that. Or that wasn't the way he played. He was going to track it no matter what. He takes off, puts his head down. Now, standing behind him is the first base umpire, who's this huge mountain of a guy, Tom O'Connor. Old-time guy. And, Tom didn't move. The building could be on fire, and Tom wouldn't move. So even if it was a play at second base, Tom was an energy saver anyway. And on this play, everybody knew it was a foul ball. Well, except Lenny. Lenny puts his head down, and he runs face first right into Tom O'Connor, and goes back like out of a cartoon. He pancakes, goes right down. Well, we were hysterical. You just couldn't help and Tom looked down at him like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And Lenny's like, his glove is one place and his hat's another place, and he's a disaster. He gets up, shakes it off, like a dog who just ran into a car. But that was one of the funniest things I have ever seen on a baseball field. Oh,
and Lenny was all arms and legs, too.
Yeah,
and
real skinny guy.
Yeah, and flailing everywhere anytime he moved.
When he ran, everything was going left and right, and boom.
And like you said, man, he was so determined every time.
Yes,
man, I was just into it. Just wow.
Right.
So, yeah. And I can just imagine. I think I was gone. I think I graduated after that. Before that happened.
Danny Ford says Tom O'Connor was his intermediate school principal.
Yeah.
Wow, there you go.
He brought it up as soon as we started talking about the funniest play.
He knew
immediately.
That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen on the field.
So, I've seen some funny things. Brent Harvey throwing the ball to home.
Anytime Brent
from
Harvey
right field.
Anytime Brent Harvey.
Yeah, but I don't want him to get mad at me though.
No,
because he'll come look for me.
No. When he wasn't hungover.
Yes, half the time. John White. It wasn't a play, but we were taking infield, and he was in the outfield, and Hayne hit him a ball, and he took the ball and he heaved it over Main Hall.
Right.
And I forget where we were.
On
and he
purpose.
On purpose. He threw it over the building behind the backstop. And I was like, oh God. And of course Hayne has no sense of humor.
No.
And he was just like, Johnny White.
He was a joyless dude. You know what he was? He was your typical reformed drunk. I used to ask him, dude, why don't we go down to Hurley's and have a couple? Because you really need to lighten up.
Well, yeah, he he was beyond that at that point.
And I knew him when he was drinking. He was a lot more fun when he was drinking.
Yeah. Yeah. Danny Ford, half the team yelled sniper.
That was a great day. That was funny.
But great Johnny White always made it fun. Yeah. I will say that. So, he married Sasquatch, Dan Ford.
Yes, he did. Yeah, yes, he did. And they had their kids are Bigfoot and Loch Ness. Yeah. Oh yeah. So,
yeah, they made a documentary. It was called Harry and the Hendersons. But those were some fun times at Wagner. I gotta say, I missed that field, man. Going up there and seeing the campus now without the field there.
That just tells you what where the priorities are, and baseball is low on the priority list. When they put a dorm on your field, they don't think very much of your program.
No, I'm sitting in front of the door to the dorm, and I'm just standing there looking at home plate area, like this is where. I was telling my son, this is where I used to play, right here. Yeah. This is where I used to stand.
It's hard to convince him that you played when there's a building on home plate. Yes. Okay, Dad. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. Well, it is what it is. I just remember I loved taking batting practice and trying to hit the houses across the street.
That was a great field. That was a really intimate place to play. It was really that was a unique place. It really was. It's a shame that it's gone.
Yeah. This wasn't the funniest thing that I've ever seen, Renee, but it was one of the crappiest innings I ever went through in my life. When Dominican scored 16 runs in the first inning.
Top of the first.
Holy moly. They were hitting missiles.
They beat us 32-14.
Yeah. Baez hit 4 home runs, but one of them came back in, so he only had 3.
Yeah, so. He had 2 in the first inning and a triple. He should have had 3 home runs in the first inning, Kevin Baez. Yeah. That's a good day.
Oh, that is a good day. Yeah.
That was a funny day because there's nothing left to do but laugh when the visiting team comes in and throws up 16 against you in the first inning.
Yeah, but what made me mad about it was that Hayne left Bobby Kahn just sit out there.
Yeah, well.
And I didn't think that was cool. He let him flounder out there on the mound. I didn't think that was fair.
Yeah.
So, but
he still has nightmares about that day, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, I think it was Bobby.
I think it was.
Sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But was not fun for anybody. So what are we at? What are we at here? We're at 57 minutes. We can wrap this up, buddy. So next week, what are you thinking? What do you want to talk about? You want to do a top 5 next week?
Yes.
Top 5 shortstops. You want to go there?
Yeah, we can do top 5 managers. We could do.
I say we go shortstops because that's our expertise. That's our area. We could say top 5 shortstops.
Some might say.
Yes, top 5 shortstops that aren't Ken Arnold or Tommy Weber. And the list would be like huge. That would be easy. We could.
Yeah.
So I think we should do that. Let's go top 5 shortstops next week. I already have a couple guys on my list. I got a couple controversial guys because I was reading an article today saying the overrated players, some of the most overrated players for every organization. And the first one was Cal Ripken. They said one of the most overrated players. I was like, what? What are you really? Okay. I don't think so, but that's an argument for next week.
Yeah, that's some bean counter analytics guy who never had a catch in his life, and if you tossed him a ball, it would hit him in the neck. Who doesn't appreciate that the way to you can't appreciate a guy on numbers alone. I'm sorry. When you watch players play, that's really the litmus test. I'm sorry.
There was nothing over. I sat and took ground balls with Cal Ripken, and let me tell you something. He just made it look ridiculously easy, and for as big as he was too.
Yeah, I mean he's a great player. He was a great player.
Just a big dude, just wide and just tall. And
by the way, he played every day for 1,000 years.
Yeah, 2,632 days straight or games straight, which is amazing. Which is an amazing feat.
Which is a talent and a skill and a measurable skill that has a huge impact when you could count on one guy to go in there and perform at a high level every single day. It's huge.
All right. So let's wrap this up. Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Dan Ford. Thank you for everybody else who came on. Thank you, Tommy Weber, for joining me.
I want to thank the Academy. I want to thank for this.
Is the Cy Young given out this week?
Who knows? Who knows?
Who
Only a
cares?
Mets fan would care. We're in the middle of the playoffs. It's fun baseball. My God, it's interesting. It's consequential baseball. Who cares who gets the Cy Young? Go ahead, give him the. Now you know what? Give him the Cy Young, and now get out of here.
Yeah. And by the way, I keep offering Andy to come on the show.
Doesn't have the stomach for it.
He won't. I'm like, I'll pipe you in, man. I'll do what I do with Webbs.
Doesn't have the stomach for it.
So, anyway. All right, Webbs, you froze up on me, dude. Let's shut this down. There you go. You're live again.
I'm good.
Yeah, so thanks for joining me. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.
Bill Evans says goodnight to everyone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is after the World Series. You're right, Renee. I'm sorry. They give all the awards out after the playoffs are over. Anyway, Bobblehead Elvis says goodnight.
Good night, Bobblehead Elvis.
Yep. Good night. But thanks for joining us. We love talking about baseball. Join us next Sunday night, 8 p.m. We'll have our top 5 shortstops for you. And, and not us. We're not in the top 5. So we didn't
close.
Play. Yeah, but close. I was like right on the edge.
We ran on and off the field.
Right, I did.
Yeah, every
I used to
time.
run. Every time. And I would always jump over the line.
There you go. Me too.
I'd never step on the line.
Me too.
All right. Thanks, Weber.
All right,
I will
man.
see
you
next week. You have a great week, man.
Love
Peace.
you, man.
All right. Love you too.
Peace out.